Hola, mi Bisshhs, tis I, Clois, aka Manny Bish, over on Instagram, and today we are recycling some marbling stuff and doing some stamping from an old Manny box, Manny X Me thing. So we've got pumps and spikes is what the other one is called. So this is what I used on this hand here, which I'll have that video linked, my left hand like somewhere up here. But right now we are going to be recycling that marble-ish that I did, and we are going to use it for this Manny. That way I'm not just wasting a bunch of dip powder. I'm going to get at least another Manny out of it. We'll see what I do after that. Like, this is what it is. So I was like, well, we've got like red, pink kind of going on. So that's why I decided I have not even broken into that Manny X Me box. So I was like, well, I'll use this. It is Valentine's themed. Like, I think it was supposed to be January's box so that we, you have like the hearts and stuff for February for Valentine's Day in time. But I didn't get to it, didn't open it. So we're doing it now. And I'm not mad about it. Who says you can't have Valentine's in August? Okay, technically July for me when I did this Manny, but still. I mean, yeah. So I'm not adding anything extra. Like with marbling, usually after the first layer, usually have to go back in and add a couple more colors to like swirl around again. I'm not doing that for this Manny. We are just clearly like straightforward recycling what we already have without adding more. And so with that being said, I am like trying to strategically lay my fingers a certain way where there is more color. So some of them, I did 2 layers of this dip, by the way, like of dip. And so some of these nails are, of course, brighter and more swirled and marbled together than others because of the way, the stuff was laid out and intermingled and me not adding more. Like, it's going to get dull. Each time that you use it, it's going to get a little bit more dull. So that's why some are more vibrant than others. But again, I'm not mad at it. We were just again, recycling what we already had so we're not wasting product. And that was just strictly the purpose of this video. I was like, we're going to recycle this. I'm not throwing all of this dip powder away because, for one, the mixture that I used, it was Revel and some Kiara Sky. The Kiara Sky is the base, and those are like $20 a jar, which, oh my god. So yeah, I was like, yeah, we're not wasting a bunch of this stuff. It's gonna get reused. So that's what we're doing. I also, and this little dip tray thing will be linked in the description box as well. Got it off Amazon. It should be in my storefront, but I will have it linked below. It will be an affiliate link. No extra money to you, but I get a small commission from you buying directly like that. So anyways, that is that. I am not, this is weird, I know, I am not clear capping this Manny. And the reason that I personally decided to forego that is because I felt like I didn't need to file the surface at all. Everything laid very smoothly. The only thing I needed to file was my free edge to straighten it out and just a tiny hair bit around the cuticle, and that was it. Everything else was perfectly fine, so I didn't want to mess with it. Wasn't gonna, I didn't file on the surface or anything. Everything was smooth, flat, it was fine. So I personally made the decision to just cut the steps in half. Ugh, there's my face in the thing. Ignore that. So we're using pumps. This one is called pumps. And this one is called spikes. I'm like 99.9% sure it's called Spikes. The label fell off, but I'm pretty sure it's Spikes. Okay, guys? It's just a silver metallic, like, that's what it is. And so I'm using this one, and we're going to go in first with my thumb. And I am going to, like, stagger these, kind of. Like, you'll see. I'm going to go one part on my thumb going this way, and then the pink part I'm going to lay going in the other, like, angle direction. Like so. That's what I did. And I did not lay anything else down. This is just, like, no sticky base coat or anything. I am using my lint roller to clean off my stamper. That is the, like, my go-to way to clean that off. It just is so easy. I also, little tip, use the lint roller to clean off my desk. If you ever get, like, those little tiny, like, dust fine stuff that you just feel like it doesn't come up, roll a lint roller over your desk. It will pick everything up. I promise. Lifesaver for me. And so we've got our little cherry things, cherry hearts on that hand or that nail. I'm going to go in with a bomb next, which I thought was just, like, really cool. I don't know. I was digging this bomb, though, like, for real. And then I'm going to do some reverse stamping for my pinky and my index finger. Now, for these ones, you want to, I'm going to be using a liner brush. I'm going to just put a little bit of my other color, the pumps one, that's what I'm using, is that pink, to fill it in. I'm just putting some of that on the plate and then just filling it in. Now, this stamping polish does dry a little quicker, so if you're doing, like, more painting than just this, you might need to add more pink to your plate because it might start to dry and get a little clumpy and you're noticing that it's not filling in what you're trying to fill in properly. So I am just doing this, just filling in these two little hearts, and then I'm setting that aside. I'm going to set it aside for about 2.5 to 3 minutes, I'd say. These are, like, I didn't do a whole lot of painting on here. Clearly, it was just two little spots. So it didn't need it very long to dry, but you do want to make sure, you should be able to tell by looking at it that it's not glossy. It's got more of a matte finish to it. That means it's dry and ready to go. So while I am waiting for that to dry, I am now going to go in with some sticky base coat. And the reason for this is because that polish is getting, like, it's drying, and you want it to have a little bit of a tacky something to stick, because if you go on after it's been sitting there drying and you go on to an already dry nail, it's not gonna lay perfectly. You're gonna have some issues. It's just what happens. So that's why when you're stamping normally, if you're not using a sticky base coat, you just scrape, stamp, like boom, 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 and everything should be fine because you're moving quicker and not giving that polish a chance to dry. It's still tacky and able to stick to the nail. So that's why when we set it aside to dry, when you're reverse stamping, you want to give it that layer of something to stick to. So that's why you go in with sticky base coat. It just makes the process a whole lot easier and a lot less frustrating, believe me. So if you're having issues with that, I recommend trying sticky base coat. And for this one, this is going to be my index finger. I am reverse stamping on this one as well. Same way, we use the silver as the base layer, going in with the pink to fill in those hearts. And you'll see me here in a second, flip it around and see where exactly I want this to lay on my index finger. That way I know exactly where to fill in. Because, I mean, if you're going to sit here and fill in that whole thing, that whole stamp isn't going to go on your finger. It's just not. you know, unless you have really wide, long nails, usually not that wide. Like, the whole thing just isn't going to fit on your finger. So don't waste your time trying to fill in every space. See and map it out. Look at your finger, see where you want it all to lay. That way you're not wasting time filling in things that aren't even going to get used. Okay? And also, turning it around like that, make sure that you don't have any holes or gaps where you're already painting. I, more or less, now after doing it for so long, can tell if I'm going to have a gap or where it needs to be filled in, if it looks thinner or not. But as a beginner, like, definitely flip over every once in a while to see and look at it from the angle that, you know, it's actually going to be laying. And again, putting on the sticky top coat or sticky base coat on that nail. I am going to go in with smudge-free stuff on my fingers. You know what? The smudge-free and the sticky top coat, like, okay, the smudge-free should probably, like, stay as the top coat. I mean, the sticky base coat should stay as the base coat, okay? But the top coat can double as a sticky base coat, I have found, because I've done it. So, if you see me, like, doing that, just know that the top coat can double. The base coat should probably stay as the base coat. And then I stuck it on there, and you'll see me, like, press into my cuticle there where it kind of overlapped. That's just so I can get, like, a clean, like, get that spot to stick to my nail and not have, if you kind of have it, like, rolling over, your top coat is going to kind of roll over, which means it's not going to seal completely properly in that one area. So that's why I do that. And then going on that one with the top coat, and then activating, I do use dip top coat over my stamping polish. What I do, you'll see here, is I make sure to top coat with the stamping polish. Then, when I'm activating, I don't really swipe, I tap, and I do not rub the excess activator off of my nail. I just wait an extra few seconds and then go right in, and and this is the time when you definitely, you should be doing it anyways, but right now you definitely want to make sure that you're wiping your top coat off before dipping it back into that bottle. You want to make sure to wipe that brush off before you dip it back into the bottle. You should do it if you're wiping your nails off anyways, because you can still sorry guys, I got a phone call. You probably heard part of it. But you do not want to contaminate it, okay? You want to make sure you will ruin the vibe if you contaminate your dip top coat. There is nothing worse than already doing your nails, finishing the whole thing, and only having the top coat left, and then going and realizing that it's just fully contaminated, and there's no way you can top coat with a contaminated dip top coat. It's hard, it's gooey, it gets gummy sometimes, it's just a pain in the butt. So, wipe all the time. And so, after my first layer, I just start right back at my thumb, go in with my second layer, cap my free edge, like, we do it all super good. And that is my mani. Just a second, my son is coming in. Anywho, I have no idea what I was saying, but that is this mani. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and me going back and doing old boxes. I know, late to the game, but we got it done, and I really, really love this mani, even though it isn't the right time of year, quote unquote, but love it. And yeah, I hope you guys like it and learned something stamping wise maybe from this video. I will catch y'all in the next one. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when I upload. It's free to you and helps me out a ton. I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye, bitches!